Okay. Hello, everyone. Okay. As we talked about before, we're going to review the first midterm right here. The first 6 questions is exactly the same questions that I post on your quiz, so I'm not going to spend more time on the first 6 questions. If you do have questions regarding the first 6 questions, just go back to redo your quiz. Okay. Let's start with question 7. In question 7 here, I remember when I talk about these things, I remember in one of the class, I go through these kind of questions during class to tell you how to do these kind of questions. Okay, so in here, in May, the direct labor is 60% of the conversion cost, and the manufacturer overhead for the month was 54,000, and the direct material cost is 30,000. Actually, what will be the direct labor cost? So in here, you do need to know, 1 second, let me try to, okay, so the things you do need to know is, okay, our conversion cost, okay, our conversion cost. Oh, what happened? Okay, our conversion cost, it will be equal to our direct labor plus overhead. Okay, we already know our overhead. We just need to know our direct labor, and we know that our direct labor also equal to 60% of times our conversion cost. Okay, so if we want to do these things, we can put this whole number, the conversion cost, back in here. So what we have is our direct labor, it will be equal to 60% times direct labor plus our overhead, which is 54,000. Okay, and if we solve for this, okay, what we got is we will have, okay, direct labor equal to 0.6 direct labor plus 0.6 times 54000. And we move this 0.6 from the right side to the left side. So what we have is direct labor minus 0.6 direct labor. It will be equal to 0.6 multiplied by 5400, which is equal to 32400. So we have 0.4 direct labor is equal to 32400. So the direct labor will be equal to 32400 divided by 0.4. It will be equal to 81,000. So the correct answer will be C. Okay, so make sure you understand how to do these kind of questions. Once you know the basic, relationship between conversion cost and direct labor and overhead, it should be easy to get these questions. I talk about exactly same questions, okay, in class, one class before you take the midterm when we go through the midterm review. So you should be able to know how to do these kind of questions, okay? The next one, it gave you a lot of information right here. It actually will be the prime cost. We know the prime cost is equal to direct labor plus direct material. So 33,000 plus 13,000. So what we got, the answer will be 46,000. This should be very easy. Okay. Okay, and next questions. Okay, question 9 asks you what would be the manufacturer overhead in here. We know that our manufacturer overhead, our total overhead, it will be equal to our fixed overhead, fixed overhead plus our variable overhead. We already know our fixed overhead is equal to 121,500, and then our variable overhead is equal to 1.65 per unit. We produce 10,000, so we multiply by 10,000. So the correct answer will be equal to 138,000. Okay, so the answer will be A right here. Okay, so make sure you know how to do this kind of questions. Should be quite easy in my opinion. Okay, And question 10, it asks you to obtain the dollar, okay? Dollar sales volume is not quantity sales volume to giving a given target price. Which of the following formula should be used? So this is just a basic definition questions. We're using our fixed cost plus our target net profit and divide by the contribution margin ratio. The answer will be A. If it's asking you the quantity, okay, what would be the quantity? Then we need to choose the answer D. So on your exam, make sure you read the question very carefully, okay? So that's question 10. For question 11, it asks you if the company sells 5,300 units, its net operating income should be close to what? It gave you a contribution income statement right here. So in order to do this kind of questions, the first thing you do need to know is you need to kind of find out what will be the price. Okay, you need to calculate what will be the price. So our price will be equal to 3,19200 divided by the sales right here, 57,700. So our price is equal to 56. Also, we need to find out our variable cost per unit. It will be equal to 188,100 divided by the unit 5,700. So what we got, our variable cost per unit is equal to 33. Our fixed cost will be always the same. So because fixed cost never change, our fixed cost will be also equal to 106500. So it actually will be our net operating income. Okay, so how we calculate that? Our net income will be equal to our price multiply the quantity minus the total variable cost, okay, and minus total fixed cost. In this case, okay, if we only sell 53 units, we're using 56 multiplied 5300. That's our total revenue minus our variable cost 33 multiply 5300 and minus our fixed cost 106500. So what we got, the net income will be equal to 15400. Okay, so the answer will be D in this case. Okay, answer will be D. Okay, make sure you understand how to do these kind of questions. Should be very simple and straightforward. Okay, and question 12. Question 12 asks you what will be the contribution margin ratio. We know that the contribution margin ratio, okay, it will be equal to our contribution margin divided by the sales. So we directly using 72. Okay, we're using, one second. We're using 72K divided by the price 180K. So that's how we got the answer of A, 40%. Okay, that's very simple. The next questions, it asks you the contribution margin per unit. Okay, it asks you per unit, not the total contribution margin on the contribution margin ratio. So how we're going to do that is also very easy. We already know the total contribution margin right here equal to 63,000. We just need to use this divided by the total unit right here, divided by 3,000. So what we got is equal to 21. The answer will be D. Okay, also very, very easy and straightforward. The next question is question 14. The variable expense for this company is 40% of the sales. What are the sales at the break-even point, assuming the fixed expense is equal to 150,000 per year? So in here, we do need to know that we first need to calculate what will be the contribution margin. Okay, the contribution margin, it will be equal to our sales minus our variable cost. Okay, or sometimes called variable expense. Okay, and we know that in here, in this case, our variable cost is equal to 40% multiplied the sales. Okay, so we can calculate the contribution margin. It will be equal to sales minus, we put this 40% sales back to this equation there, equal to 40% multiplied by sales. So we know that our contribution margin will be equal to 60% of the sales. Okay, and our contribution margin ratio is equal to contribution margin divided by sales. So we can get that this will be equal to, we put this contribution margin back in here, so equal to 60% contribution margin of sales divided by sales. So we know that our contribution margin ratio is equal to 60%. Then our total dollar amount, okay, the break even in money, it will be equal to fixed costs divided by our contribution margin ratio. So it will be equal to 150,000 divided by 0.6. So the answer will be equal to 250,000. So the answer will be C. I'm sorry. Okay, the answer will be C. Okay, that's how you get these answers right here. Okay. The next questions, okay, because I'm gonna post these things online, feel free to freeze the video and get the steps, okay? Question 15, give you the company say that it sells for $20 per unit. The sales revenue was 300,000. The net operating income is 2,400, and the fixed cost is equal to 96. It actually will be the break even. Okay, so this question is a little bit complicated. It's not actually not hard, just a little bit complicated because first, it did not give you the variable cost per unit, but however, it gave you the operating income and the fixed cost. So we need to find out what will be our total variable cost first. Okay, if we only sell, okay, if we only in this case, okay, in the first due to the example questions, we know that, okay, let me write this way. We know that our net income will be equal to our revenue minus variable cost and minus fixed cost. Okay, so our variable cost will be equal to our net income, so revenue minus fixed cost and minus net income. So our variable cost will be equal to revenue is equal to 300,000, okay, minus the fixed cost is equal to 96,000, okay, and then our net income is equal to 24,000. So we can get our variable cost is equal to 180,000, okay, and we need to find out what will be the variable cost per unit. Okay, we're using our total variable cost 180,000 divided by the total, okay, total unit quantity. However, how are we going to get the quantity? Our quantity will be equal to our revenue divided by price. So what we got is equal to 300,000 divided by the price equal to 20. So what we have is equal to 150, 15,000, I'm sorry. Okay, 15, yeah, 15,000. So our variable cost per unit, it will be equal to 180,000 divided by 15,000. So it will be equal to 12. Okay. So once we know this, we can get our contribution margin per unit. It will be equal to our price minus our variable cost per unit. Okay, so it will be equal to 20 minus 12, it will be equal to 8. Okay, so once we know that, we can get the break even in quantity. It will be equal to our fixed cost divided by the contribution margin in unit. So it will be equal to, the fixed cost is equal to 96,000 divided by 8. So what we have is equal to 12,000. Okay, so the answer in this case, it will be equal to C. Okay, so make sure you know how to do this kind of questions. Should be very easy. Okay, it's a little bit complicated, but I don't think it's very hard. So make sure you understand how to do this. And question 16, I also go through exactly pretty much the same questions in our review part. Okay, so here we have this company that sell these things for $10. The fixed expense is equal to 420,000, and the variable expense is equal to 60% of the sales price. And what sales would necessary in order to get a pre-tax profit of 10% of the sales? So here it gave you the pre-tax profit. It did not give you the exact number, but however, it gave you is equal to 10 points of the sales. So in here, first, we need to calculate what would be the contribution margin. Okay, so we know that the price is equal to $10 and the variable cost is equal to 60% of the price. So our price is equal to 10. Our variable cost per unit, it will be equal to 10 multiplied by 60%. So it will be equal to 6. So our contribution margin per unit, it will be equal to 4. Okay. And if we want to calculate these things, we can also calculate the contribution margin ratio. It will be equal to 4 divided by 10. It will be equal to 0.4. Okay. So once we know these things, okay, it asks you, okay, what sales, okay, because the question is actually what sales is the break even in dollar point. So that's why we need to calculate the contribution margin ratios. Okay, so we have our fixed cost. We're using our fixed cost 420,000 plus our pre-tax profit is equal to 10% of the sales. So we just put 10% multiplied by sales right here. We're using these things divided by 0.4. That's our contribution margin ratio, and it will be equal to our sales as in here. So we just need to solve for these equations right here. So what we have is we can put this, 0.4 from the left side to the right side. So what we have is equal to 420,000 plus 0.1 times sales. It will be equal to 0.4 sales. Okay, so 0.3 sales, it will be equal to 423,000 sales. Okay, it will be equal to 420,000 divided by 0.3. So the answer will be equal to 140,000. Okay, so the answer will be C in this case. Okay. I talk about these same exactly questions during our class, so make sure you understand how to do this question. This is a little bit tricky because it did not directly give you the pre-tax profit. Okay, so make sure you understand how to do these kind of questions. The answer will be C. Okay. Okay, so question 17. It asks you what will be the break even in months. Okay, some of you directly fell into this trap, so make sure you know how to do these kind of questions. It gave you all the product right here. We have the price, we have the variable cost, we have the fixed cost, okay, per month. So we can calculate in here. First, we need to calculate what will be the contribution margin per unit. It will be equal to 150 minus 33.5. So what we have is equal to 76.5. Okay, so our quantity will be equal to break even in quantity will be equal to our fixed cost divided by our contribution margin per unit is 6.5. Our fixed cost already gave to you 308295 divided by 6.75. So what we got, the answer will be equal to 4030. Answer will be C. Okay. This should be very straightforward and very easy for question 17. Question 18. The contribution margin ratio of this company is 52%, and the company's fixed income is equal to 296,400. The monthly target profit is equal to 7,000. So what will be the dollar amount? Okay, we need to find out. So we just using the very exactly equation right here. Okay, so our break even in dollar, it will be equal to our fixed cost plus our target profit divided by our contribution margin ratio. So what we have is our fixed cost is equal to 296,400 plus our target 7,000 and divide by 0.52. So how we got the answer will be equal to 583,492. Okay, so the answer will be A in this case. Oh, sorry. Okay, answer will be A. The next one is just a very easy, simple definition questions. Some of you choose the answer B. That's not correct. The contribution margin, you need to including all the variable costs. So not only the variable product cost, but also the variable period cost. So it's including variable production cost, variable selling, and variable administration expense. So the answer would be D. Okay. And our last questions. Okay, this one is a little bit complicated, so I'm going to spend some time to talk about this one. Okay. So some of you send me many email about how to do these questions. Question 20. We have our direct labor, okay, and we have our tells you that direct labor cost is equal to 40% of our prime cost. And if the manufacturer cost is equal to 86,000, the manufacturer overhead is equal to how much? So we know our direct labor is equal to 10,000. We also know our direct labor is equal to our prime cost multiplied by 40%. Okay, so our prime cost, we can easily calculate that is equal to our direct labor divided by 40%, which is equal to 10,000 divided by 40%. So which is equal to 25,000. So we know our prime cost is equal to 25,000. Okay, so once we know the prime cost, we can easily calculate our direct material, okay? Because our prime cost is equal to our direct labor plus our direct material. So we can get that our direct material will be equal to our prime cost minus the direct labor, which in this 25000 minus our direct labor. So what we got, our direct material is equal to 15000. Okay, so that's our direct material. Once we got our direct material, okay, it asks you to calculate our overhead. We know that our total product cost, total cost will be equal to direct labor plus direct material plus overhead. So our overhead will be equal to our total cost minus direct labor and minus direct material. So in here, our total cost is equal to 86,000 and our direct labor is equal to 10,000. Our direct material is equal to 15,000. So what we got, our answer would be equal to 61,000. As the overhead, the answer will be D in this case. Okay, so make sure you go back to do the questions again. This kind of questions will definitely gonna show on your final exam again. Okay, and as I mentioned before, if you do have any questions you want to talk about and you want to ask, feel free to send me an email. We can either set up a Zoom meeting, okay, or online, okay, office hour. Okay, so that'll be all for today's. I hope you have a very good weekend and have a very good fall break. I'm gonna see you in 2 more weeks. Bye bye.